We'll now move over to the Senate. The Nigerian Senate has expressed concern over, calls for a military base in Adamawa. They have also expressed concerns about the resurgence of Boko Haram activities in parts of Adamawa State and the Northeast region, prompting urgent calls for enhanced security intervention. This follows a motion by the senator representing Adamawa Central, Aminu Abbas, over renewed attacks by the terrorists in Gombi and Hong local government areas within his senatorial district. News Central's National Assembly correspondent bring details from Wednesday's plenary.
The motion, sponsored by Senator Aminu Abbas and co-sponsored by lawmakers from the Northeast, highlighted recent attacks in Hong and Gombi local government areas that claimed over 40 lives and destroyed valuable properties. He called for the immediate deployment of troops and the establishment of a permanent military base in the area to counter the renewed threat.
The Senate should urge for the establishment of military base in Hong local government area. If no proactive action taken, the Boko Haram insurgency is capable of spreading to wider communities in the north and beyond.
Lawmakers contributing to the motion attributed the resurgence to overstretched military resources, with most deployments currently focused on combating banditry in the northwest region.
The Nigerian military is overstretched, and most of the equipment and personnel were redeployed to the northwest, where we have the problem of banditry and what have you. So the Boko Haram now took advantage of the vacuum created as a result of redeployment.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio described the resurgence as a sign that insurgents feel emboldened, citing porous borders and shifting security focus as contributing factors.
Anytime the fight abates and they think that the military has relaxed, then they will catch them unawares. Borders are very porous. So even when they escape from Nigeria, because some of them are not from Nigeria, they still find their way in at any time and crossing to attack our people.
The Senate adopted the motion's prayers, including the call to establish a military base in Hong local government area, and directed the National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to victims of the attacks. A minute of silence was also observed in honor of those killed in the recent violence. In Abuja for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
And now we're joined by our National Assembly correspondent, Sagir Ibrahim, who brings us details live. Good morning, Sagir. Thank you for joining us. What update do you have for us this morning?
Yes, good morning. Good morning to everyone in the studio. Well, it's just a reiteration of the fact that Northeast lawmakers are concerned, about the resurgence of Boko Haram in the region. This is not the first time that it has been mentioned. I recall last week, Tuesday, the Senate Chief Whip, who also represents Borno North, was also making similar calls, stating that the insurgents have taken over certain local governments in Borno State and Yobe State. The call we saw yesterday was from the senator representing Adamawa Central, Aminu Abbas, who has also raised alarm to the activities of Boko Haram insurgents in certain local governments in Adamawa State, including Gombi and Hong local government. He recounted, the number of attacks that certain villages in the local government areas, were exposed to as a result of the activities of the.
We hope to connect back with National Assembly correspondent Sagir Ibrahim. I think we discussed this issue during. Okay, Sagir is back. Go on, please.
Yes, you pardon me. I'm having sort of a network challenge, but then he gave details about the attacks in several villages and communities, in Hong and Gombi. He even gave some
Very tough one with the connection there concerning the stories Sagir is taking on. Putting military base somewhere in Adamawa has been a conversation that we also had this morning. But Sagir, let's give it one more try, and hopefully we'll be able to get this right. Go ahead.
So I appeal we go on a quick break so I can reset my.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right, that's fine. Thank you so much. While you take your time to do that, let's also highlight that this conversation is also from the backdrop of what we had yesterday when we did have the Borno State governor who has decided to take it into his hands as well, while calling on the Nigerian military to give him support, and also the federal government, which he also clarified that they have. The resurgence of Boko Haram, the resurgence of, ISWAP, he also did mention the challenges that he's facing and how they are putting the work together to ensure that they do their best.
But I do like how the northeastern governors are always very vocal about raising the alarm on security issues when it comes to insurgency in their region, because they have felt the effect firsthand of the dastardly Boko Haram insurgents. They're dealing with IDPs and resettling members of the community back to where they used to live, trying to give them a sense of normalcy. So when they see this insurgency that we nipped in the bud, rear its ugly head again, they're always quick to say, look, this is a very terrible situation. The federal government should do something about it, and they're very vocal through their representatives and their governors. But on the part of establishing military bases, I mean, if it's not possible to put a military base on every square kilometer in the Federal Republic, and the military advisors and the president, like I said earlier, will decide on how to go about that.
Let's talk to Sagir again. Sagir, you're back. Let's give it one more shot. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, and my apologies for the network interferences. So the senator representing Adamawa Central gave a recap of several attacks, across different communities in the two local governments. But then again, this is a resounding call he's making. Like I mentioned, this is not the first time. I mean, just yesterday as well, the governor of Borno State was on this station speaking about a similar situation in Borno State as well, bringing, to fore the generating challenges coming from these areas. And what are they saying is the cause of this? They feel that because of the onslaught, in the northwest region, and because the Nigerian military seems to be focused on the several issues regarding banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and abductions going on in the northwest, the military seems to be focused more on the issues in the northwest and not, in the northeast. Reasons because, well, for a very long time, over a decade or so, the Northeast has been, the one on the front burner facing these challenges. And we saw the efforts that the military has made, to secure and claim back territories that were initially taken over by these Boko Haram insurgents. We've seen efforts by, for example, the Borno State governor, who has gone out of his own way to visit some of these local governments to ensure that they are safe enough before, returning community members who were initially dislodged from these villages back. We saw efforts of them reconstructing some of these villages also to make it a little bit more conducive, for these villagers and for residents to be able to pick back the pieces of whatever is left of their lives. But unfortunately now, the cause seems to be different. These guys are coming back. These guys are carrying out these attacks because they know that, well, the security is not as tight as it used to be in these areas. Hence the reason why not just the Borno State governor, not just the senator representing Adamawa Central, but also the senator representing Borno North and the chief whip of the Senate are saying attention needs to be focused on this. And while we are focusing on attention on this, we also need to ensure that the Nigerian military is equipped enough to face the contingents, because now they are saying not just the fact that they are using advanced weapons and taking advantage of technology, they are also taking more advantage of social media to showcase, the onslaught and to showcase their gains and their wins. And this is the reason why it is important that the government has to respond swiftly and quickly, so it doesn't look like the insurgents are gaining ground and we, the Nigerians and the Nigerian government, are losing territory.
Yeah, very important that you mentioned that. We need to show that the insurgents are not gaining ground and we're not losing territory. I mean, yesterday when we had the Borno State governor join us and talk to us about progress that has been made, a number of things were highlighted. He called one contractocracy and said that we need to look into the way that equipment are being purchased from, to ensure that there's
eradicate middlemen.
Yes, eradicating middlemen is government to government, purchase. And you mentioned technology. They are making use of advanced technology. We need to be able to match that as well. So there are many layers to the conversation about security, or rather insecurity in Nigeria, and especially with the renewed attacks, we need to see more being done there. And I'm sure that this is an issue that the Senate is taking headlong, and you'll be bringing us more reports in that regard. Sagir, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for bringing us updates, and we look forward to having you join us again when we have fresh stories, and hopefully the fresh stories will be positive and not because there's been some fresh attack somewhere.
I mean, I really look forward to it. Thank you so much. And I hope that the government listens to the call by the senators and the governor to establish a military base in this area to forestall the violence. Thank you guys. And by the way, you all look lovely.
Thank you, Sagir.
And by the way, the governor was on Breakfast Central. You said News Central. Yes. So next time, correct yourself. Thank you.
Just manage. So again, thank you for joining us. We'll talk outside of this.